Hi, this is Jamie Pate, and today this is going to be a walkthrough video instead of a process video. You kind of know me from my process videos, and today we're just kind of changing things up a little bit as I am working on the Heidi Swapp Winter Wonderland album kit. So you're looking at that kit right now and what I have started so far in this book. So what is a Heidi Swapp Winter Wonderland album kit? Well, it's this cover that is cloth, and inside is a about 7 3/4 by 7 3/4 album. And we'll get to that in a minute. I want to talk about the cover just for a second. I posted in the middle of November on the Heidi Swapp blog altering this cover. And if you go into HeidiSwapp.com right now, just a couple of the most recent blog posts are going to be about how the other team members altered their albums. So also in that post is going to be a link to several downloads that you can use. So the kit initially includes this cover, the inside pages, several packs of embroidery floss, and a stencil and a needle. I don't have the needle right here, right this moment. So that's what the kit includes. You can also find on Heidi Swapp's YouTube channel where she used a embroidery technique on the front of the album that she showcases there. I chose to take, there's a stencil that's available. And again, I will link all this down below. But there's a stencil that's available that's the 25 and then it says days. So I chose to use just the 25 numbers. I liked how chunky they were. What I did is cut on my silhouette cameo 3 of the 2s, 3 of the 5s. I wanted to stack them and just give them a little bit more depth and dimension. And then I sewed them to my page because I am not an embroiderer. You will see in here where I make an attempt to do some stitching, and stitching is all on trend right now. And I love to look at it, and I love the techniques that I'm seeing out there. It's not a strong point for me. I just need to work on it. Just those kinds of skills just require practice, and I need to give it more practice. Then I actually took these thickers here, actually from Honey and Spice collection by Heidi Swapp, and I added those letters in there. And then if you can see here, this is a layered sticker, part of Winter Wonderland, and that finished my cover. Okay, the point of today's walkthrough video is to show you the first couple of layouts that I have created inside this book. And it's funny because when I was making this book, I was thinking I was going to use it for 2019. I need to go back and change my date because I've actually utilized this now for some 2018 stories from December that I had not got to yet. So that's what you're going to find in this book. So as you open it up, you can see how this mini album slips inside this cover. I have a piece of cardboard here because I tied this baker's twine around here, and I just wanted to give it some more stability when I was tying it. I could have put this in here and then tied around that. I just didn't do that. So this slips out, so it makes it super easy to work with this without having to manage the cover. So I'm going to set the cover aside for right now because the point is on the pages inside this book. So you can see that I've added quite a bit already in here, and so it's got a lot of depth, and I don't mind. I love that. I don't mind that it's bulky and it doesn't lay exactly flat. The other thing I want to point out was this awesome buffalo check because it's also a pattern from Winter Wonderland. And this itself obviously could just be used without the cover if you so chose. And then this front could be altered in some way. Just a couple of options there for you. When you open the mini album, the first page you come to is this merry and bright gold foil vellum. I originally took this out thinking I was going to use it someplace else. And then, as usually happens, I changed my mind because that's our prerogative as creatives. We can change our mind. It's just paper. We can fix it. There's 2 sides usually to paper, and we can make it work if we've made a mistake. I love that. What I did then to reinstate its position here in the mini album is I added it back in with washi tape. I had trimmed it down to use it someplace else, so it already was a little bit shorter, but then I trimmed a little bit extra off, so you can see here on the edge that it's not all the way over, and you can see the page underneath it peeking through. I'm also going to warn you right now that not only on my 2018 album that I'm finishing up, but as I begin my December 2019 December album, hexagons rule. They are going to be found everywhere. I have a fetish for hexagons right now. We can blame this on Allie Edwards, as I have been taking her Pattern Play 3 class. It's been super inspirational. I've found so many, not only great ideas in the class, but I've been inspired to try some of my own things, and you're going to see evidence of that inside this mini album. So I just made this hexagon cutout. I layered one of the layered the layered stickers on top, and I backed that up to this side so that you weren't just seeing the paper. And then you can see on here, I have added in a Color Fresh gold puffy sticker heart, and then Merry Memories and Love, and those are from the Winter Wonderland cardstock stickers. So now we open up to one of my favorite pages. I'm going to say that over and over again. I'm going to warn you right now because I love my December albums so much. They mean such a great deal to me to open these up and to see where we all were the previous year and everyone's story that just pops out to me as I look at this picture here that we take every year. We take this picture every year in front of my parents' tree. And gosh, that would be its own great book. But right now, let's focus on this. We've opened the vellum page, and then I added in this little extra flap here. So adding in this flap, it is on this main page. Then you can see here, hopefully, I have matted in a piece of cardstock. It's textured cardstock. I really like working on cardstock. I wanted to give these pages a little more beefiness to them, a little more strength, and so that's why most of the pages are matted with this cardstock. So then when you open this up, you have this main family photo here, sort of an intro page to what this part of my album is about. Journaling that I printed out from my computer. I added in some more washi tape, and this is another layered star from the layered star package. This Christmas here is part of the Stamp and Dies set. So it not only includes these stamps, there are several dies that go along with it. I have several videos here on my channel that are using these dies in mostly some card making, some gift wrap packaging, embellishing, as well as some tags. So be sure to check those out. I've loved these dies. This Christmas is so beautiful. So I cut that out on a pattern paper. Winter Wonderland has 2 stamp sets. This is the second one. It's also these are just great classic stamps. You're going to want to have as part of your collection. I guarantee you'll be pulling from these in years to come. But I just did some stamp work around the Christmas die cut in So Merry and Season of Giving. And you can see these up close photos in the blog that's linked below. Then I used a 6x4 template I use quite often and put in that template several photos from Christmas Day at my parents' home and added that to the back of this. So great interactive piece, lots of photos. You figure there's 7 photos on this page. It's a great way to open up this album. The next page, then, we get a look at something I like to do is I'm not great about double page spreads, but I do like to have one page that complements the second page, which is super easy when you're working with a collection, whether it is Winter Wonderland or any kind of collection. Everything's going to play into itself. So to show you this, I crafted a pocket over here. So this is cardstock. I used the red line tape to tape this down. Before that, I did use some stitching here. Can you see that stitching? You should be so proud of me for adding that stitching in with some gold thread, just to give it some extra detail and to kind of keep the whole gold vibe happening here on these pages. So this pocket, then I used a cardstock hexagon cutout. I added the Winter Wonderland Puffy Alphas to that to signify the day. This was day 17, and added a cardstock sticker. So these tags, so this is one trick I want to encourage you maybe to utilize yourself. This was a day I wanted to make sure I had in my album, but the pictures weren't like the most awesome. This is a pretty awesome picture, I must say. I'm pretty proud of that picture. It's my kid. And this was his Christmas concert. So I just used these tags that are part of the 12 by 12 pattern paper. And these, you just trim them out from the cutaway page. And I trimmed them out. I added these photos to the back, like these photos from inside. They just weren't awesome, but I wanted them still. And so I'm like, what better way? Add them to a tag, make them super interactive. Each of the tags are topped with a different sort of fiber, so that just adds to the difference in the technique and the texture it's going on. So I was really happy how that page came out. I just did several swatches of washi tape here on the edge. So this, I would say, this pocket goes up about 3.5 inches. So that is one way to add interactive piece to your mini albums, whether it's a December daily or what other album. Okay, so let the hexagons continue on this page. Another story I have in almost all of my December albums is a story of my kids right now. So I take their annual photo, the one that is like their birthday photo or the annual photo shoot of the year, and I print those out. And I use another template here. I believe this is from Paisley Press. You can find this at lilypad.com. And it's just like a photo strip. I love those. It's a great way to get a bunch of photos on your page. And when you have a bunch of kids like I do, this is just a great way to get them all in one place. Pretty happy how that turned out. Then I used this hexagon cutout that is it's a Paige Evans cut file from her Silhouette shop. And when I cut that out on textured cardstock, then I backed some of them. I didn't want to back them all, but I backed some of the hexagons with the Winter Wonderland collection pattern paper. I used some of the cardstock stickers in here, the stars. I used another cardstock. No, this is tape, this Winter Wonderland. Let me get this closer to you so you can see it. That is from the washi tape. So that is pretty cool. And then this family is from the Color Fresh, from the main paper line. But I love these Buffy it's Heidi Swapp signature handwriting. I just think it's beautiful. You're going to probably see these pop up a couple times in this album because I think it just sets these pages off so beautifully. I needed a place to tell the story. So this page is going to need some space for journaling. So I added another interactive piece. This Merry Christmas tag comes from the same paper as these tags. So you will see that on there. It's about 3 by 4. I've trimmed it down quite a bit because I wanted it, number one, I wanted it to fit into a pocket that I made here behind my photos. So it slides in there and I have it in such a way it's not going to go any farther back. There's a stopping place there. But as you can see, I made it sort of a tab so that it pops out the top. Happy how that turned out too. I haven't added my journaling in yet, but what I did was I made an open card with just used washi to connect 2 pieces of the cardstock, the pattern paper to cardstock. It just flips closed. It's going to slip right back in here and I'll have it for all of time. So it's got to go in there and pull that photo up a little bit and it slips right in there. So that is my other spread that I had that I want to show you. I have one more spread I want to show you and then I'll do a part 2 in a couple of weeks. So I told you about my sketching. Please don't judge. You know what? It doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful, right? This is just, it's super comfy cozy, right? This is one of Heidi Swapp's free stencil downloads. And it actually says comfy and cozy, but I just liked comfy cozy. So I didn't include the ampersand that's right in between here. And that's fine. What I did on this page, I had a couple of small stories. Do you ever have small stories for your December pages? I mean, sometimes during the middle of the week, if kids are still in school or if everyone's just working, there might not be a whole lot going on, and that's okay. But I still am pretty determined to try to get some sort of photo, to try to tell some kind of story in my week. So what I did is I made this little tiny hexagon book that is in here just with this baker's twine. It's tied in, and I'm still pulling out the glue strings. Sometimes I do that. So in here are days 18, 19, 20, and then 21 is part of this page. I made this back-to-back binding book. So I cut out pattern paper in this large hexagon shape. It's about 6 inches tall. Tell you what I did. I attempted to use then a hexagon template to pre-cut the photo in Photoshop. Sounds a little complicated, I know, but I needed to tell you that because what I decided if I do this again for a shaped little mini book, I won't try and pre-cut it to print in this size, in this shape. I will just, next time I just want to have a 4x6, put it on my paper and then trim it out according to my paper. I had trouble getting everything lined up like it really should and needed to have been. Lesson learned, I'll do it next time. It still looks great. It's still doing what I want it to do. It's a cute little book that plays off with all the colors. I added this ephemera Christmas tree that's also gold foil with probably hot glue, so it's not flat to the page. And you guys, if you follow me on this page and watch any of my process videos, you know I don't like things flat on a page. I like them to float. I wrote my story in Photoshop Elements, printed it out, and trimmed out the journal strips. And so each of these pages does the very same thing. So I like that kind of cohesive vibe that's going on. I don't have to recreate every page, right? Pattern paper and story on the left side, photo on the right side, and somehow my numbers are just slightly a little different. I just kind of enjoy having a different number. What I mean by that is like this 18 is from Winter Wonderland, the thickers. I call them candy cane thickers. I don't actually know their official name. It's on this right here. So there's 2 of these backers to a package. So lots of letters, lots of numbers. So you can see that there. Great package. At first, that's not totally me. I'm not a candy cane kind of girl. But when you put them in here with this collection, I really liked it. I'm happy. I've been using those. And then I glued some tabs on here. Makes it super easy to open the page. This 19 here, that's the thickers from Honey and Spice. So that's what I'm talking about. I use different numbers throughout my books. I don't use the same number from story to story. And then I went back and I used the candy cane thickers again. Pattern paper, journaling, photo, tabs. And then this opened up, and for this photo here, I kept it the full height of the page. I like these large format photos, but I didn't have to use a whole entire page. As a matter of fact, I turned that page over, I adhered it to itself, and there's going to be a peekaboo element over here for my next page. So you'll have to watch the next video to see how that plays out. I'm going to be working on that next. So that is a look at what I have so far in my, whatever you want to call it, my 2018 album, the last week before Christmas album. Bottom line is this is Heidi Swapp's Winter Wonderland album kit that comes with this great cloth cover. It is just dying for you to get in there and to alter it and to make it your own. And so I hope you got a couple of ideas from this. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them below. And if you would love more clarification on something, I would love to hear that as well. I've been hearing a lot from you all lately, and I appreciate it so much. I'm going to be putting some new, fresh things out here this coming year on this channel. And as always, plenty of links below to product, plenty of links to where you can find me, and also links to where you can find these posts that are published on HeidiSwapp.com. Thank you so much. I would love it if you would also subscribe so you don't miss a single edition here on this channel. And I will see you next time.